What does Koon Rijjeil mean to you?
That's a very deep question. As the first question,
We jump straight in.
Let's jump straight in, huh? I think that well, first it took a toll on me. It put me in very bad shape. I can relate to a lot of guys out there that may be struggling with mental health, especially with this world that is very cruel, right? It takes a certain way for guys to act or behave for them to be, I guess, accepted in society.
But I think it's time to look in the mirror a little bit.
Yeah.
And not for us, for as men, to look in the mirror, not in a how did you let this happen, but it's sort of what kind of person do you want to be in the world, what kind of leader do you want to be. What does it sound like in your head when things are so difficult?
If life was an orchestra, this bit would just be a little bit of heavy metal. And it's still music. You can still enjoy it. It's not gonna bite you in the ass, right?
Yeah.
It's just loud music. The lesson here is that sometimes life doesn't go your way, and you think that you won't be able to have enough patience for it, or you won't be able to survive those bumps, but so you actually do. I think that was the lesson for me.
Looking back on your younger self, what do you think you would say to him?
لبناني مزبوط.
شو يعني تكون رجال؟
كون رجال.
كون رجال.
كون رجال.
Hey everyone, welcome to the episode on the podcast Koon Rijjeil. So today we have a very good friend of mine, somebody who you can say look up to in a way. Don't let it get to your head كتير. But somebody who I look up to, somebody who I like to learn from, not because he's older, but he has a very interesting way to look at life. So yeah, I'd like to welcome Ibrahim Jabri to the podcast.
Hi Karim.
Welcome to Koon Rijjeil.
How's it going? Thank you.
All good?
Yeah, thank you. A great intro. Thank you for looking up to me in a way.
In a way. Not every way, but some ways.
Yeah, I'm interested to know in what way, though.
You'll find out soon enough.
And what's the other thing you said? I'm older. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I mean, with age comes experience, right? And knowledge.
It.
So I had to give it to you.
Yeah, okay, I'm experienced.
That's
good.
What they say.
Good.
that is what they say.
I don't mind growing old, but getting experienced.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Ibrahim, so what's one thing that you want every listener to know about you before they start listening to this episode?
That's a very deep question. As the first question.
We jump straight in.
Let's jump straight in, huh? Something I want every listener to know about me. I want everyone to know I'm a normal person, I guess. I don't want anyone to think I'm more than what the eye meets or what the eyes meet, right?
Yeah.
I want everyone or every listener to know maybe that maybe I'm not a regular Ibrahim. I grew up in Athens. I didn't grow up in an Arab country, unfortunately. I would have wished that I grew up in Beirut. That's where I'm from. It's kind of a miss in my head. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I grew up in Athens. I learned so much over there. Learned a lot from their culture. Went to a French school, so maybe something listeners or people around don't know about me is I speak French. Je parle français. وبحكي عربي كمان.
بحكي عربي أكيد.
فينا نحكي بالعربي إذا بدك.
فيك تحكي بالعربي. أنا على ريحتك. عربي إنجليزي فرنش ما بعرف أحكي بس إنه.
فينا نحكي فرنش، فينا نحكي عربي، فينا نحكي يوناني. بقولنا نعمل شو اللي كان.
لا هيدي صعبة. شوي صعبة علي.
Yeah, I guess I have a maybe more diverse background perhaps than what people think. There isn't really anything specific that I want people to know. I'm not trying to get people to know anything about me. Actually, I like to keep a low profile, even though my Instagram page suggests otherwise. I'm trying to find a way to monetize on Instagram. Perhaps that's why I'm a bit
low key. Sorry, not low key, a bit out key.
I'm a
high
bit
key.
High key, or I'm a bit out there, or I make videos. But in real life, I don't know. I guess I prefer to keep a low profile.
So I'm going to take that question just a little bit further.
Yeah.
What's something you want our listeners to know about your mental health journey so far?
My mental health journey.
in your 30 something years of life.
I think I have a pretty sturdy mental health journey or state. I don't think I suffer from a particular mental health challenge or issue, even though I can relate to a lot of guys out there that may be struggling with mental health, especially with this world that is very cruel, right? You would agree, cruel from the conflicts that are happening, the wars, but also cruel with the situation with social life and guys going after what they want, achieving their goals, meeting someone, living a normal life, right? It's really hard to live a normal life. There's a lot of consumerism, there's a lot of materialism, and it can hurt a lot of people.
And that affected you a lot, or it affected you in some way?
I don't think it affected me. I can say it probably affected a lot of guys. It probably affected a lot of guys. I would say maybe I've noticed it. I've observed this phenomenon that it takes a certain way for guys to act or behave for them to be, I guess, accepted in society. And I can find how that can be problematic, because it's not always necessarily moral, it's not always authentic, and so guys find themselves lost, I think, between two worlds, between being themselves and trying to be someone else. And that discrepancy, it could hurt, it could cause some problems.
Could. So, I mean, talking about guys in society and being a man, what does Koon Rijjeil mean to you?
Oh, there you go. That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
كون رجال.
What's it mean to Ibrahim Jabri?
بدك تقولها هيك باللبناني مزبوط.
شو يعني تكون رجال؟
كون رجال.
كون رجال.
كون رجال. شو يعني كون رجال؟ يعني نزال جيب لها الجروسري لأمك، نروح على السوبر ماركت جيب لها ربطة خبز أو اشتري لها الفيجيتابلز. هذه كون رجال. كون رجال. Carry your sister's bag or your dad's. I don't know. Go wash your dad's car.
Yeah.
A lot of I guess there's a lot of running chores, right? That maybe no one wants to do. You know what I mean? You have to step it up, man up, right? And do them. No, but jokes aside, I think being a man أو كون رجال معناتها إنه you have to I think you have to be respectful, one. Two, you have to be morally responsible. I think that's very important. It's to be respectful to others, be morally responsible. I think seek justice. I think that's
interesting.
That's a nice way of also being a man, is to seek justice, live a righteous life, being correct. Yeah, that's what it means. Is it too stereotypical?
Not entirely. I mean, I think to live to seek justice, I think that's the first time I've heard of that, to be honest. Yeah. I'll
tell you why I say that.
I want to hear where this all comes from.
Because look, if you see wrong in the world, who is it on? Who is it on to take action, to solve that wrong, to make it right?
I mean, it's definitely the one witnessing it.
You need to be. But if it's something that is requires physical effort, it requires a tough assignment, or it's a tough task. Who would you expect it to make it happen?
The leader of the tribe, the breadwinner, as they say, someone, or how do you say, the king of the jungle.
So so what's that profile for you look like?
Somebody who's responsible, somebody who's بيقول بعربي قد المسؤولية.
Yeah, I mean, is it a guy or is it a girl? I mean, I guess it could be both.
Could be both. But but the way that it's always been portrayed in the world has always been the man. But now, sort of, women are rising to these roles.
Yeah, they're rising to the opportunity.
The opportunity or
Yeah.
the gap that was there.
And it's creating problems for men.
A lot of problems.
Yeah.
Where men don't
They
know
feel-
where they fit in the equation anymore.
They feel maybe offended.
Yeah, but offended maybe, but I think it's time to look in the mirror a little bit.
Yeah.
And not for us for as men to look in the mirror, not in a how did you let this happen, but it's sort of what kind of person do you want to be in the world, what kind of leader do you want to be,
Yeah.
you know.
So all the things that I listed doesn't mean that you can't be kind, you can't be
Of course.
caring, you can't be, sweet. They can go together. They're not mutually exclusive. But I would say maybe Koon Rijjeil is go on the extreme of the masculine side, I guess, right? The characteristics of what defines a man more than a woman, right? And what really the playground where man operates or excels are things related to hardship, tough tasks. Go get grocery for your mom, fight, etc. All those things.
I mean, do the things that no one wants to do.
No one wants to do exactly.
So if I met you 10 years ago,
Yeah.
what version of you would I have met, and what part of that still lives with you today?
10 years ago. So 10 years ago is around the time where I was in Saudi Arabia working. Well, just working, I guess. Yeah, just hustling every day. That person was hungry for success, hungry for achievements. I was trying to climb the corporate ladder. I had nothing on my radar besides getting promoted, doing good at my job, and building a good, safe and promising future. And there's definitely still some of that in me.
Of course. But what's interesting to me is that I think a lot of times, especially like هيك لما تكون صغير بعدك, you're just starting to work, and دايما الواحد بيكون, maybe at least in my mind, you start working like, okay, I want to have this safe future, this safety net لبعدين, بس you think about, okay, I want to live with someone, I want to start a family. Was that ever sort of was that ever a reasoning, if you will, or was it always just I'm doing it for me?
10 years ago?
10 years ago.
No,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
No. 10 years ago, it was just pure work.
Pure work.
Yeah,
nothing
didn't
else.
really care about anything else.
Okay.
And the proof is I was in Saudi Arabia in the middle of the desert, and I didn't do anything else but work.
Yeah. Sounds like it was a tough time.
No, it wasn't actually. I mean, perhaps maybe in some way.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
But I was happy at work. I was doing good at work, so I guess that balanced it out. But yeah, I mean, I think marriage and family is something that any guy eventually, seeks and wants. Right. It's an interesting question. Like, when is the right time? Right. If you start thinking about it in your late 20s, early 30s, is it the right time?
You never know it's the right time till you do it.
100%. Till you meet the one, right?
Or just meet someone. Sorry, let me reframe that.
Yeah.
Meet someone who you see a potential in, not just anyone you meet in the street. No, obviously, but like.
Thank God.
Yeah, just to make it clear for everyone listening to the podcast.
It's gonna be someone that you feel special towards, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So I want to go back to something you said earlier. So you said, for some men, we often go through a lot of struggles and hardships. And I've known you for, I don't know, let's say 2 years now, maybe even just
3.
over 2 years. Has it been 3 years?
Has it been? No, has been. No. 2, you're right.
Let's say 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
What does it sound like in your head when things are so difficult? So, for example, back's against the wall, you're stressed at work, so much to do, you have life goals you want to achieve, you haven't achieved yet. You're obviously continuing your podcast, but it's maybe not going as quickly or as far as you would have liked.
What do you mean? It's doing great.
No, I'm saying, for example, in a parallel universe, let's say Ibrahim Jabri is stressed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay. What happens in your mind? What does it sound like? Because we've never ever had this
I think
conversation.
it's just another bump in the road. That's it. I don't think of it of anything as anything dramatic or tragic.
Okay.
If life was an orchestra, this bit would just be a little bit of heavy metal.
I
And it's
like
still
that.
music. You can still enjoy it. It's not gonna bite you in the ass, right?
Yeah.
It's
True.
just loud music.
A little bit of heavy metal for 2 minutes, and then
100%.
the rest of the 10 hours is orchestra.
And then you'll get through.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that one before. As I
Yeah.
said at the beginning of the
I-
episode, I learn from this guy every day. It's something new I learn from him. So what part of, I mean, look, in life, there's always a moment that makes or breaks us. Or there's a turning point in our lives, right? Where you go through something, you're like, okay, either I'm going to let this consume me or I'm going to let it be as a stepping stone or a lesson for me to overcome something. So what was that moment like for you, and how did you sort of come out of it or learn from it?
So I think for me, it's probably a separation with my ex-wife. I think that well, first it took a toll on me. It put me in very bad shape. But getting out of it was it was humbling. It was life-changing. So I had to basically move countries so that I can move on. I quit my job. I went to train in Thailand for a couple months. I had to rebuild, I guess, my life brick by brick. And I think that was a turning point. That's when I realized that I'm onto something new. It was also a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because it basically meant it was a second chance for me to rebuild everything from scratch. So the first thing that I went after was my fitness, because I thought that's going to be tied to my mental well-being. If I want to feel better, I need to be better. So I went after that, and then I made the move from Saudi to Dubai, and everything else was history. And I think that would probably be the turning point for me.
It's interesting you said, because I think a lot of men, whenever they do go through either a breakup or a separation or whatever it may be, I think a lot of people go the opposite way, which is بالعربي بنقول إنه بيفلت, to say it politely, but no.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of interested to hear why you chose fitness or the life you lead now versus, and at the time, because again, still fresh wounds, you're still unsure because you're so used to living your life with this one person or with this person in your circle. So, how was that shift like, from that perspective as well?
It's probably because أنا دايما كنت أحب الرياضة. I always had appetite to do sports, and I think I didn't do it enough, and that's why I basically jumped on the bandwagon basically, and it was always in me. I was never that guy who partied very, very hard, or was after nightlife frequently or on a regular basis till today. So I didn't go down that road, right? It isn't something that appealed to me. And you know what? It's very stereotypical. A lot of guys do that. They do go down the road of training, working out. It's not something.
Overtraining.
Yeah. You might go down a path of which is derogatory, maybe for a couple of weeks. But I think eventually you'll come to realize that you want to become better, right? And becoming better, the answer for becoming better is in the gym. It's not in a nightclub, right? I think everyone agrees on that, right?
I definitely do.
You do?
Definitely.
Good.
100%.
Yeah, and I also didn't have the friends that dragged me, to parties or to do anything that's harmful. I did have the freedom, to pick what I wanted to do. I didn't have any peer pressure. So yeah, I guess I chose the path of, post breakup gym rat.
Gym rats, yeah.
100%.
Come back, 6-pack abs.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure about the
arms.
6-pack, but yeah.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man. but I
Koon
think
Rijjeil,
Koon
get a
Rijjeil.
6-pack.
Exactly. But I think in terms of like, what I'm interested to know about, if you are to sum up in one line or few words, what did that breakup teach you about yourself? Because I mean, it's all cool to say, yeah, I went to gym. Obviously I came out of it, but what did it teach you about Brahim? Something that you probably didn't know before. Is it the resilience in you? Is it maybe the mental clarity that you maybe became a lot more clear after that situation? What was that sort of big lesson for you?
I guess the big lesson was probably that I can maybe withstand more than I thought I could. Because after that separation, it wasn't ideal, right? I'm in my mid-30s and I'm at a time where I wanted family. I didn't get it. When I was younger, I always imagined that my life would be perfect, right? I would get married late 20s, early 30s. By mid-30, late 30s, I would have kids. Everything's great, and the lesson here is that sometimes life doesn't go your way, and you think that you won't be able to have enough patience for it, or you won't be able to survive those bumps, but you actually do. I think that was the lesson for me.
It's really interesting. So I mean, it must have hit you hard. Or harder.
I think it would hit anyone hard.
Of course.
Anyone that goes through separation it's not a great situation.
It's not a great time to be.
No.
But what's interesting, by the way, to me about even like as you're talking, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, even when we do me and you hang out, we never really, talk about how we actually feel about things like relationships, feelings. Like I don't know, it's never really happened. So why do you think sort of men have that issue or could have this issue? Is even like super close people, why do you think we struggle with that?
With like sharing their feelings,
talking openly about their feelings.
Koon Rijjeil, man.
Koon Rijjeil. Yeah.
Koon Rijjeil, maybe it's because when you share your feelings with someone, it's you would expect that person to react, to level with you, to show you affection, right? You expect some form of affection. You expect to steer some reactions, and get the other person to sort of, agree with you or feel the same way. Perhaps some guys, they don't want to cause or disrupt the room, right? Or they don't want to stir up any unwanted, I guess, feelings with the other person, right? Because you might think that if someone comes to you, right, and shares their feelings, you might be annoyed. You don't want to know about what they're feeling, who their feelings are for, or how they feel about this or that. Not everyone wants to listen in, I guess.
Yeah.
And so maybe guys who don't share their feelings, they try not to be annoying, even though it's completely normal and they shouldn't think like that. But maybe this could be a reason. They just want to be low profile, low key. But it doesn't mean that you're not caring, that it's wrong if you do share your feelings. But sometimes you just you don't want to cause a scene, I guess.
And I think as well, within men in general في عنا جو المنيكة يعني sorry for the profanity
ولا
بس
عادي ما نحن رجال
احنا
لا
رجال بنحكي اللي بدنا اياه but
Yeah.
no but seriously like في this culture right it's like you'd always second I mean I used to second guess at least
Yeah.
before you know if I want to share something with this person who's like a guy friend of mine it's like yeah but you know he might take it the wrong way make fun of me all these things so even that for me at some points were like a barrier like okay I wouldn't share my feelings with my guy friends because of this I'd be more comfortable with my female friends because خلاص they بيتعاطفوا معك أكتر.
Yeah, I
الرجال
see
were
what you
not-
mean.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it's also on guy friends to make sure that the space is safe
Yeah.
for you to express your feelings, for
Definitely.
sure. Yeah, I see that maniaque jauzuzu eba type situation or atmosphere where if you show a bit of
Vulnerability.
weakness,
Yeah.
they'll bite.
A little tint in your armor. Is that not clean? Whatever.
Yes.
Something in your armor. That's saying
You're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
You're not part of the pack
Yeah.
anymore.
You're part of the yeah. You're not a man as some might think.
Some might think, yeah, which isn't right. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, you know, so I'm going to go a little bit back into the friends and the circles. So we've known each other for around 2 years now.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you've learned about yourself within these 2 years through our friendship?
Our friendship.
If there is anything, it could just be, I have this amazing friend who's awesome and whatever, and I can be myself, or it could be something completely off. If there is anything.
Through our friendship for the
Yeah.
past 2 years, I've learned that there are really, really cool guys out there that exist that can be active, that can have a cool job,
Yeah.
that can also produce content, that pray regularly. I think that was very cool, you know, to have learned in the past 2 years.
Okay. That's actually, you know, I never thought about that. You know, because I always say this, like we always think we're our sort of, because sometimes when you're in a friendship, you never really know how you're being perceived by the other person unless they explicitly come out and tell you. So you always sit and wonder, like, okay, how does this person think? What do they think? So, okay, that was an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
On that.
So you sit and think, what is
I mean,
think?
I mean, a lot of other things. What does Ibrahim think? But probably not so much about this. But
Yeah.
but I had to ask the question,
Right.
Because it was something that was on my mind for these past few days. So I'm going to go back to a little bit to grassroots, your childhood. Tell me more about that. How did you learn how to be a man in your childhood? غير إنه جيب الخراد تساعد بيك تساعد أمك.
I didn't learn how to be a man. I didn't
If you did.
explicitly go after trying to learn how to be a man in my childhood. I never thought about it in my childhood. And I can describe for you a little bit of my childhood, if you want.
Or sort of what were the moments you look back now and go like, okay, that's what kind of shaped what it means for me to be a man. Maybe say it differently.
Maybe I don't look at it like that, but I think it definitely shaped me. I would say spending a lot of time on my bike, going from one place to another place that were very far apart. So spending hours on my bike, just cycling down the hill, up the hill, just spending a lot of time with myself, I guess. That definitely shaped me and gave me, I guess, the right mental resilience to basically go through hard, tough tasks that were long. So I spent a lot of time, I guess, commuting on the bike. Spent a lot of time walking and going from one neighborhood to the other one, taking a bus while I was young. So I guess that also taught me patience. Another thing that was very important, I think, is martial arts. That gave me a lot of discipline, and also the confidence to defend myself against bullies. So I can recall multiple scenarios where there were bullies in high school, and I managed to get myself out, without harm, because of martial arts. It wasn't kung fu; it was more taekwondo and a couple of self-defense techniques.
Yeah.
I would say these two mainly.
Interesting. I mean, I think me and you share a lot of similarities in terms of, maybe even till today. Like, I live a very solo life in terms of spend my time, most of it alone, except if we're in training or whatever. But I think definitely from my side, being alone, doing things alone just teaches you how to be confident within yourself, how to control your mind, your thoughts, you sort of know how to talk to yourself.
Yeah. The third one I would say is also growing up as a Muslim called Ibrahim in a very Greek Orthodox society. So no matter how much I gelled with Greek, spoke Greek, looked and sounded Greek.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I could never fit in because I'm not Orthodox. I'm not Greek. I couldn't relate to Easter and going to the church and all of that. So I was always an outsider, and so that helped me throughout more recent years to cope being in situations where I'm not part of the group, I'm not part of the city, yet I'm able to maneuver and navigate and communicate and live normally.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. I mean, again, even when you think about, I think the very, some people would say very basic things, but just community, people you're around, and how that sort of shapes you as well. Like, I think sometimes people take it as a negative, but for the most part, I see it as a blessing in disguise, where you start to really cherish and value what you do have. And you cherish those moments that looking back, you're like, yeah, actually, when I was alone, I wasn't in these events or whatever, but it helped me shape who I am 20, 30 years later.
Yeah.
Which is quite a cool way to look at it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I'm interested to know what you've been through.
What I've been through
when you were a kid.
Oh man, there's a lot.
Did anyone ask you that question?
Yeah, maybe my therapist, definitely.
On a podcast?
On a podcast, I think so, yeah. But basically, long story cut short, very different than how I am now.
Yeah.
Extremely different in terms of, okay, some things are a bit similar, but I was a lot more quiet. I was a lot more to myself, not many friends. So that taught me the value of good quality people rather than quantity of people.
Yeah.
Wasn't the most confident ever. Like growing up, wasn't very smart at school either. So that was always like a big question mark on me, like as a person. Like I would reflect it on me, like, oh, you're not smart at school, it means you're not a top person, if you want to say it like that. And that's sort of how we looked at things as kids, school, how do you do in class. That's all I thought.
Yeah.
But as well, I also did martial arts for a bit, but I fucking hated it. I really didn't like it. Was never into sports.
Yeah.
I was really the complete opposite of how I am now. But I think the moment that shifted me was university. Like big shift, like 180 degrees.
What made you join that rugby team when you were in university?
My sister. So she told me, she's like, there's a friend of mine who's on the team.
Yeah.
Register, like sign up, do the tryouts, and just see how it goes. It's good fun. You'll meet guys and make friends and all this. And it was my first semester, so I was like, yeah, why not? And since then, my 3 best friends were from rugby. Just I think the best memories of my university years was that 4 years just playing rugby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I look back and sort of And that's my next question to you is, looking back on your younger self, what do you think you would say to him?
To my younger self, it's gonna get bumpy.
It's gonna get bumpy, or it's ahead of.
No, it's gonna get bumpy.
Yeah.
And just don't panic.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay.
And
Just fasten your seatbelt.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna get bumpy up in here, but and then sort of how do you? Again, sort of the thing that I really want to try to understand from you, because, you know, I feel like everyone thinks of life and things in their own special way, and I always wonder, like, how do you brace yourself for impact? Like, how, like, when you know that things are gonna get tough, and yeah, you say fasten seatbelts, jokingly or not jokingly, but more often than not, your brain will tell you, yeah, that's so much easier to say than to do it. So how do you?
I think
if you do,
you'll need to, as long as you're securing the basics,
yeah,
which are you are making sure that your head is sane, is healthy. أنا for me العقل السليم بالجسم السليم. So for me to make sure that my head is right, my body needs to be right. So I do sports. You'll need to also train the head, but with reading, with learning new things. So that for me is one of the basics that you have to secure, and that can help you basically cope with any situation, right? The second thing is, I think, have faith. It's important, and you know, be close to God, because in tough times, you know, you could feel relief. The third one is just make sure that you're doing your best. Do your best with work, with whatever assignment or task you have at hand. And yeah, I mean, I guess no matter what happens, you know you did your best, and you know what they say, right? When you lose, you learn, or when you don't win, you learn. So both ways you're winning.
You're winning, right? Anyways. Yeah. So what got you so close to religion? Or because again, I think I'll be very blunt. For parts of my life, it was something that I knew but didn't. I'm not gonna say didn't believe in, but didn't fully understand the extent of, or the power, if you want to say, of religion. So yeah, you know, what got you so close to religion, and when did that happen?
So close to religion, for me, it happened when I started making sense of the world and how is the world unfolding in front of us, you know, and seeing it unfold the way it is, it just made more sense that there is good, there's evil, or there's a lesson. You know, there's something out there that's more powerful than us. Or another way to look at it is there's a story. You know, the story began thousands or tens of thousands of years ago, and it's ongoing, and that story makes sense. Especially how the world's unfolding, and I think that got me more closer to religion, even though I mean, I was introduced to religion by my parents and I believed in it. But yeah, I guess just learning more about the story got me closer.
It seems like it's really grounded you. It makes you feel like you're at ease, you're at peace, you're yeah.
إذا واحد رجال أو بيكون رجال مش مفروض بخاف بس ربه مزبوط.
صح. That's very true.
طيب إذا بتخاف بس ربك, then you should be very, very comfortable.
That's extremely true. So, what's the, you know, when you were growing up, how did you imagine yourself to be when you're older, and how does that version compare versus how you've actually turned out to be? if there is a difference.
لا حمار كبير. ابدا مش متوقع ابدا.
Yeah. Complete opposite.
لا الحمد لله. I think I did well. I imagine I'd be on a spaceship
On a
right
spaceship
now,
too, with the aliens
landing
and
in
stuff.
Mars, and I would have the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're not
I'd
far
own
off.
hundreds of yachts. No, I'm kidding. I didn't imagine that. I'm not far off.
I'm not far off. At least on the body part, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I imagine that I would have a good job, good income. I would drive a really nice car because, you know, as boys growing up,
Yeah.
you know, we were into cars. Let's not
Kid ourselves.
kid ourselves, exactly. Yeah, that's what I imagine. Have a family, and do things that affect the world in a good way.
Mhm.
You know, that help those that are in need, whether it's through education, through community projects, through charity, and I think that's it. I think also doing something that's good for Palestine, for the cause. That's something that I always aspire to do. I always aspire to do since a young kid, and I still do.
And how's that looking now?
Which part?
All of them. I mean, how much of it
I think probably I'm at 50%, maybe.
Okay.
60%. 60%.
60% is quite close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also older, you said, right?
Yeah, but that's fine. You're still doing something about it, and that's the difference. You could be 20 and doing nothing, and you could be 32, let's just say, and do 60%.
True.
So,
Yeah.
all about perspective.
100%. No, I think I'm there, at least for the first thing that I mentioned. I'm grateful I have a decent job. I drive a nice car, a good car. So that's ticked off. Still working on the rest. So, but I'm hopeful.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean that's all we can be in this world, right?
Yeah.
Hopeful for the best, and whatever comes along the way, you take it as a speed bump and you navigate through it.
100%.
That's the only way to live. So, what's sort of, one lesson you've learned about love, and how did that shape you, or sort of change, if it did at all, your role as a man?
Love. It's a complex word. I would say love is not enough. You know, you love your friend, you love your teacher, you love your colleague. So if you want a relationship to work, first you have to be in love. Right? That's one. Two, you have to have a good understanding and awareness and grip over the other person's values, and they need to be sort of mutual, so they have to align, because sometimes you could fall in love with a person and you could have strong feelings towards that person, even though this person does not share the same values as you, does not aim for the same horizon, does not share the same goals that you deep inside are, you're striving to go after. Okay, and so you end up compromising a lot, and I think it becomes just a matter of time for that sandcastle to basically break down. And it just takes a capability which is beyond love to understand those things, to see through a person, to level with this person and feel that you're a good match. Even though you may have strong feelings and a huge crush on this person, I don't think it's enough. So love, I think, is something that came out of romanticism, which is something that was created approximately maybe 100 years ago or more. So it's tricky. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. But it could be tricky. You just have to know how to navigate it properly.
How to navigate? So I agree, but there's some things that I think when it comes to, again, the role of the man and all this, I think for me, one of the basic principles or one of the basic roles of the man is to be a leader. And I think if there's somebody who you absolutely love, may not share the same values, but you can help lead them into that direction. And I'm not saying to change them because but more so to steer them in the direction that you see is best for the both of you. So do you think that applies, or is it more of take you as you are, if you want to say it like that?
I know. I agree with you. I think yes. If that person isn't aligned, or that person's values aren't aligned with yours, you can absolutely show them the right way, or the way you think is right. Right? But you can't count on every person really following through.
Of course.
And so your approach fails. It's not 100%.
Yeah, it's
not bulletproof.
Exactly. So it doesn't work with every person. No. But see, you need to see whoever that person is. You need to see one, because at the end of the day, for me, I mean, even thing is, what's interesting about this point, by the way, is that women and men go through the exact same thing. So, for example, you're dating someone, you have a very different background to hers, but she wants to steer you in the direction that she knows is right, which might be the correct way. And the same would apply on the flip side, right? So I always think that it's such a interesting dynamic when there's very different values and ways of being between two people who truly love each other, but how do you navigate? Do you guys find a common ground and navigate to one direction that makes sense for the both of you, given what you both know about your backgrounds and upbringings and all this? Or do you just say, you know what, we can't do this?
No, you could find some common ground, but you see, it takes more than love.
Of course.
It takes two mature people to talk, to have a grown-up discussion about the things that matter to them, you know, and that's more than love. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. So yeah, absolutely, you should have that conversation, and it could work, it could not work, and that's fine. Not everyone's meant for everyone.
So how has your sort of understanding of love for yourself and others evolved with time, if it's ever changed? So the way that you see love, the way that you hate it, has it changed over time? The way that you see it and value it, has it maybe differed between now and 3-4 years ago or 5 years ago?
No, so I definitely think love is a great thing, and it's an interesting chemical reaction or concept, and to have those feelings, rush through your veins and feel a certain way towards a person when they're or they're not there, when they're there or not. But I used to believe that it's something very special, especially when I met my ex-wife. When we got married, I was 100% in love, and I felt that she was the one. They say when you know, I knew she was the one. I was like, there's no other person for me. And that was love. That was 100% love. But what I learned the hard way is love isn't enough, and I think that's the perception that's changed for me when it comes to love. Is it's more of a feeling, that you feel towards someone rather than a reality. Okay, on in terms of whether it could work, whether this relationship can work or not. So that's how it's changed for me. Nowadays, I don't just look for love. I just look for someone that I feel like I could share the same values, someone that I could have a nice conversation with, that would not be bored of. Beyond just how I feel towards this person. I think it's important to love someone, to have those feelings, but it should be beyond that. What really connects two people.
What's interesting to me is, I think these days a lot of people are like, so a lot of people are getting into relationships, right? And people say, "Oh, I love her. Oh, I love him," but then, or like, she's the one. I'm 100% convinced. But sometimes you never really know until life.
Her parents.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, life throws a bamboozle at you or something, and you're like, okay, wasn't exactly the case. So how did you sort of come to that conclusion of, at the time, this is the one 100%? So was it mostly in terms of the way that I feel around her, the way that I, or is it more of the,
It was a package.
Yeah.
It was a package. It starts with a conversation that sort of gives you a certain, makes you feel a certain way, and then it may be a very strong feeling, that first conversation, and then you would think that that's love at first sight, right? And then it builds up, and then the more you see that person, you meet that person, the more reasons it gives you that to think or believe she's the right one, and that love builds up. Right, you meet her again, then you see how beautiful she really is, and then you get to know her past, and then you find common things between you two, and that gives you a certain more reason to invest your feelings in that person, and then you meet her parents, and then you bond with her parents. So
yeah,
there are a lot of things, I guess, that play into building that love for someone, and you always try to give yourself an excuse as to why this is the right person, right? You only see the good things in that person, and I think that's what happened to me. She was super attractive, very beautiful girl, spoke French as well, was a cat
language
person,
of love,
like I was.
Yeah.
What do you mean? شو قصدك لبناني مش language of love?
I mean, no, not really.
لا.
Do you want to hear proper Lebanese? I don't think it's
Koon Rijjeil.
Koon Rijjeil, bro. Hey, bro.
Yeah. So those were, I guess, that was the setup, kind of, for me. But I learned from it. I'm grateful. Now I guess I can navigate better.
Yeah,
this world.
Navigate this world better.
Of love. Yeah.
Something that I feel, something I feel us men sometimes struggle with, which is when you eventually meet someone who you're like, okay, this person is absolutely amazing, and you sort of become blinded to these things that you don't like, or things that don't really align with. How did you sort of deal with it at the time? I mean, okay, obviously we know the results of it, but in that moment when you're
like you said, turn a blind eye, wouldn't care,
and then eventually it all comes coming down on you.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that Pisces, as a zodiac, when they fall in love hard, and with the wrong person. So that will happen. I was not seeing anything besides her.
I mean, let's make sure the next one is
I need to slap in the face.
Yeah, just talk to me before you. Yeah, but I just think that it's something that it's so common, because again, I think for a man to get into that space of, yes, finally there's this one person who I can be 100% myself, obviously outside the guy's circle, but like a girl I can be myself with, I can be vulnerable. They know my story, they know my past, and then you start seeing these things you're like, okay, one thing I don't like, one thing I don't like, one thing I don't like. And then that sort of it becomes so difficult to navigate through because you've gotten so used to that person. You've built this, this network of just, positivity, good feelings, good vibes. And when you have to let go of that, it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm ever going to meet someone who's like that.
Yeah.
Or someone who's more suited or more fitting for me.
Yeah. No one's perfect. So
True.
you're always gonna find some things you don't like about your girl.
Yeah.
You
No
know?
one's perfect.
Some things matter, some things don't matter.
That's
Like, would you, for example, care if the girl picks her nose?
true. Of course. What kind of question is that? Pick your nose. Get out of
Well,
here.
I
Man.
see. So that matters to you.
Of course.
So that's a no-no.
I mean, does it not matter to you?
Of course it matters.
There you go.
But it's something. It's not a life and death.
But it's
thing, right?
anyways. We can talk about that off air. Yeah.
Does it matter to you if she has faith?
Of course.
All right.
100%.
100%, right?
100%.
Does it matter to you if she's a blonde or a brunette?
Not entirely.
Not entirely, right? So some things.
Some things. I mean, obviously, the more important things in life.
Well, let me rephrase that actually. What's your like type? Is it blonde or brunette? What's your favorite?
Really doesn't. I've dated both.
Just pick one.
Brunette.
Okay, so if she was blonde, would it matter?
No.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
If she had a very masculine view of Koon Rijjeil,
A very masculine view of Koon
very
Rijjeil.
masculine view of Koon
I mean,
Rijjeil,
my
would
first
you
reaction
care?
would be that's a first, but no, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker.
It's
right?
not a deal. No.
And like you said, some of them may not be perfect,
Yeah.
and just need guidance, right?
100%. So, what's one thing that you're trying to, if there is something, trying to forgive yourself for? Something that you've done.
Something that I've done. I'm trying to forgive myself for not following through or pushing through football, trying to play football professionally. That's something that I think about growing up, and even today, but less today than before. But it was a dream for me to be able to do it. And I try to see the message in it of not having gone through down that path. I guess God wrote something else for me, and I'm discovering what that is.
So, speaking of writing things for you, so the way that we like to end every episode is we have this notebook.
Yeah.
And I want you to write something, or write a message for something, or for somebody who, somebody who's struggling at the moment, doesn't really know where to go. What's one thought or one line or whatever it may be that's helped you go through tough times. So I will hand you the notebook.
Okay. Do I need to sign?
Yeah. Of course, I mean, it's your signature. I'd be honored to have your signature on the podcast.
Oh, baby.
Awesome.
Here.
Let's see this. Oh, wow. Didn't expect to read that today from you. That is incredibly true.
Yeah.
I love that.
You like it?
I love it. Ibrahim, I want to thank you for being on the podcast. And honestly, I think what this episode gave me was, I think more than being a podcast, was more of just me trying to understand you as a person. Not that I don't 100%, but there's things that I'm trying to wrap my head around a little bit better.
Yeah. 2 years later, it's never late.
Never too late, right?
Yeah.
The learning never stops, as you might know.
I do know.
You do know.
Yeah.
But no, really, thanks, man, for just being on the podcast and sharing your story. Like, it's always great to have, just great people, good vibes, good, genuine human beings just come share their story and understand from them what it means to be a man.
Thank you, Karim.
So thank you for being
Appreciate
on
it.
the
Thank
podcast.
you.
Thank you.